Hey guys! In the Netherlands we've got two different practical motor exams, which are done separately. One consists of only exercises, which is called AVB, and while the other one is simply driving through the traffic, called AVT. In today's video my instructor was very kind to me and he recorded a lot of my exercises, and I'm definitely hoping you guys will like it. Basically the AVB exam consists of 4 so-called clusters, with every cluster having a certain amount of exercises in them. The very first cluster is, like, in my opinion, a bit of a fake cluster, as there's only one exercise inside of it, which is called parking backwards. And as the name already suggests, you simply walk with your motor and then you walk backwards, park it inside of the parking lot. That's about it. You have to put the brake on it and make sure that the motor is stable and shit. And then you pick it up again, you walk the other direction, finish your exercise. It's not that hard. Hence why we've got no video material of me practicing it, because my instructor simply said we don't have to practice that. But right here you've got the photo of it. So. Then as the second cluster, as we enter it, we've got the most difficult cluster in my opinion, because it simply means that we have to do the slow clusters and the slow exercises right now. And it's so hard for me because it requires a lot of control over the motor, and that's because it all be practiced on a very slow pace. So at the first exercise we've got the slow slalom exercise, where you head very slowly through slalom, and yeah, it's, for me it was personally one of my hardest exercises, and it was a 50-50 if I was gonna make it on the final exam, but I gladly make it without failure. So. Then as the second one is driving away from the parking lot. So at first we already started to park it inside, and right now we have to drive it outwards, either left or right, doesn't really matter. Both should be tested or done perfectly and without any problems at all. Simply give a little bit more gas, a little bit of throttle, leave up your gear, and you can drive already. Then we go to the third one, and the third one is the hardest of all exercises for me. It was a struggle to get this under control, and even in the end I made it, and I did it on my exam. I finished it perfectly without failure again, but it's a hard one for sure. It's the imaginary 8. And it requires a terrible lot of control, as you can imagine when you're going in very slow pace one circle around, and then you need to completely steer the other way around, because at a very same slow pace you have to turn the motor instead of going left towards going right, and it's so difficult. You should test it on your own. Say for example, if you got a bicycle or something, try it out and you will see how difficult it is at very slow speed. Then as the last exercise of this cluster, we've got driving in a straight line for 20 meters long. But it's next to the examiner, which means that you have to keep his speed, and he's walking next to your motor. And same as going with the last exercise, if you try this one on your bike as well, for example, it's so hard to do because you need to like gear up or go faster, go slower, and obviously you can't like put your foot down or something. You have to like make sure you're keeping next to him, his shoulder, to be perfect. So then we'll head into the third cluster. And there we've got my favorites, because those are all supposed to drive at a decent speed amount. Where is the first one of this cluster called a dodge exercise, and again, as the name suggests, you're supposed to like dodge an imaginary obstacle at the road. Basically, we've got some heads right there, and you have to like right before the heads, then you need to dodge the heads, and you keep driving along the road. Then the second one is the quick slalom. This one is actually like the same as the slow slalom. However, this one is driven about a speed of at least 30 kilometers per hour, which is already pretty fast, especially if you like need to tilt your motor from left to right, etc. And instead of with steering, you need to do that with using your body mass. However, as you guys might have noticed already from previous videos, I'm not the tall. I'm pretty tall, but I'm not like the strongest of all. I'm not very fat or something, so I don't have much weight, and the motor is a very heavy one compared to what I'm normally used to. Hence why it was at the start, it was a little bit difficult. I want to get the hang of it. It felt so great. It was perfect. Love it. And as the last exercise of this one, we've got the slow down exercise, where you start with 50 kilometers per hour, you drive through the gateway, then you slow down till 30, and you finish it with a quick slalom again. Then we've got the very last ones, and the last cluster consists of braking down. And obviously braking down is the most important thing about motorcycling. Sure thing, it will be fun if you can drive around 200 kilometers per hour or something, or if you can really hang inside of the curve. That's all fine and all, but if you can't brake down properly, you're gonna have an accident and you're not gonna be there anymore. So hence why it's that important to really brake down, you know. And the last cluster starts with the very most important braking down exercise, which is the emergency stop. It simply means you'll drive with 50 through the gateway, you try to stop as quickly as possible, no gearing necessarily needed. However, you need to stop in like 10 to 12 meters maximum, which is fairly slim if you ask me. but I managed it. So it's doable, but it's so hard, and you're really gonna force yourself to look for the limit, because it's pretty scary how fast that thing goes. It really feels sometimes like it's a rocket below your eyes, and if you're gonna break down and you're not gonna do it fast enough, not strong enough, then you're really gonna like drive forward too long, you know. So you really need to like get the feeling of it and make sure to really do it as strong as possible, so you really have an emergency stop. Then the second one is the precision stop, which is obviously more needed within the normal traffic, because say for example you've got a traffic light, you've got a crossroad, everything, you just need to stop right before the line, and yeah, hence why we need to practice that obviously. Then the very last one, we've got the stop exercise, where it's a bit of things between it, if I'm not gonna lie. Like the emergency stop obviously requires a lot of power inside of it, and you have to stop between 17 meters for the precision stop, and the normal stop or the brake stop is like somewhere in between, around 15, 13, 14, around there. Where it basically means that you have to, because you don't have to focus on the precision and you don't have to focus on the emergency part, they are asking for you that you have to focus more on the real control of your vehicle, that you're really like good at handling, that you're sitting up straight, and that you can really slow down nicely. So yeah, that's actually about it. And actually I hope you guys liked this this kind of video. For me personally, it was something completely else. I'm obviously not used to doing voiceovers or anything like this. But if you guys liked it, please leave down a comment below. And I'll be seeing you guys next week with a completely different vlog again. So see you next week. Ciao. With